Thank you so much for joining us on World of Art right here on OGTV. Happy Sunday. This is another time to talk about art on your darling station, OGTV. We bring you art practitioners, and together we explore the wonders of visual arts in our everyday society. This program is brought to you by Prince Yemisi Shilon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of Council, Yemisi Shilon Museum of Art. Today we are diving deep into textile, and a lot of people already know this. What are the activities that takes place before the final product, which of course a lot of us know about. These and many more are what we will be exploring on the program, as we are being joined by a very special artist. I like to call him that because his work is one I haven't seen, and they look so beautiful. They're right here with us on the program. And he will take us through every single piece of it. Don't forget, it's a two-way communication. You get to call us and ask our guests questions. And when you do, please turn down the volume of your TV set. You can also send us messages via our social media handle, where this program is streaming live art. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome to the program.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to get your name correctly. Abeokuta.
Yes.
Sheriff Dean. Right. All right, I'm going to be starting this conversation today. I know a lot of textile artists have had to say that, you know, there's no market, especially time like this.
Yes.
There's no market. People are looking for money to eat. They don't have money to buy clothes. But I know there are a lot of textile artists there that are making money day in, day out. And one of the reasons why I think these people differ from the other is some people are becoming creative with their skills. If they sell the normal apparel for just the one they specialize in, and they see people are not buying it, they decide to do something different. Now, I see you have some works like this, you know, mufflers and all of that. So I want you to take us through it. For those people who make those kind of complaints, what's your advice for them? We're going to start the program by talking about that first.
Okay. My advice for them is just to keep on working.
Okay.
And try and get the original materials, then move on with your work. Before you know it, people will appreciate it and start buying it. Even they will start requesting for it immediately.
Are interested. So how long have you spent in your work? Since when did you decide to focus into the work of textile?
Since 2010, I've been into it.
That's 14 years ago.
Yes. And let me say, I just got the idea from my grandma.
Is it always like that?
Yes.
Why is it that someone has to pass the knowledge? Is it always, because the people I've had on this program, aside from the ones, you know, that went to school to study the art, you know, some people just learn this from their grandfather, their grandmother, or someone in the family just does something like this.
Yes, funniest part of it is I don't even learn it from her. After she has passed out or passed on, that's when I now picked this idea. I did not even know her at all. But when I started doing the tie and dye, batik, and some other things, that was when my family called me. So you are the one that will later go into this. Okay. And I said, I thought I'm going to do something else like law, banking and finance, but God says this is my way.
I'll tell you this for free. It's in the blood.
Yes.
And blood, they say, is thicker than water. So I want you to take us through it. So we have different types of apparels here, but I know that they are not the same. So
yes.
I'd like you to walk us through them.
The first step I normally work on is I will first of all do the tie and dye work on the fabric. So after doing the tie and dye work, I will allow it to dry first, then move to the paperwork.
Hold on. For some of us, for some people that are watching that do not know, because I like to think that I know, because I've seen a lot of works here.
Okay.
Tie and dye, that's getting complicated already, because
yes.
a lot of us know tie and dye to be many things.
Yes.
So was this first tie and dye before
yes.
becoming something like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll first of all tie and dye the fabric before printing on it. But before the printing work, I need to do the color off on my paper. After sketching, I will now do the color off. That's when I will now separate it and put it on mesh before printing on the fabric.
Okay, so when you say paper, because I saw this paper
yes.
here, so I just want you to walk us through it in practical sense. Now, well, the common tie and dye we're used to Is the one you actually do like this,
Yes.
you tie the rope? Was that also done for this one?
Yes, but we have different methods.
Okay.
Different methods. We have the spiral one, the, what's it called, normal folding, and so many medium or style of tie and dye.
The tie and dye is like a design of its
Yes,
own.
on its
So
own.
why do you have to go to the extent of printing on it again?
Because I want it to look like Ankara. Instead of us buying normal Ankara, I want us to have our own adire in form of Ankara design. So instead of us buying only Ankara, let us create something different from that. So that's why I moved to printing using mesh on fabric.
Okay. Let's take it slowly. We have some papers here.
Yes.
So I want you to take us through this, because it feels like you use this to get this.
Yes.
But how did it happen? How is it happening?
Okay.
How do you make it happen?
Let me start with this. The first thing I normally do is my sketch on my sketch pad. So after creating my sketch on my sketch pad, then I'll now use there's what we call, color rough. Then after doing the color rough, then I'll now start tracing it on this cardboard. There's what we call light box. That's what I'll use to trace everything on the paper. Then now started painting it one after the other to show how the work is going to look like on the fabric. That's the finished work on the fabric.
This is handmade?
Yes, with brush and poster color.
Okay, interesting. So when you have this ready, what else do you need to do to get this image you have on this on the apparel?
What I will do next is to separate the color. So after separating the color, printing it out on what we call A4 paper or A3 paper or A2 paper. Then I will now expose it on mesh. After exposing it on mesh, then I will now print with different colors. And we call the color text fast or Seritex. Seritex. That's what I will use to print it out on this fabric to look like Ankara like this. So we have different designs. I can use key or padlock to create my design. I can use shoe or sandal to create my design.
A lot of us put on Ankara, and I'm not sure we know that an artist first of all made something like this to become, you know, it's a lot of process, and it's so beautiful to have someone like you who does these things to talk about it on air for us today. This one, for instance, was it made by this, or there's another form to it?
Yes, they are going to do this on the system. After separating it on the system, they'll now send it to the machine to print it out.
This is quite different from this one.
This is handmade, while this machine printing.
Okay, so let's talk about this handmade, because this is definitely it comes from our place, not mechanical.
Yes.
It's hand, and a lot of people love this particular ones that are like this. So I want you to take us through it again, like you did. This one is made through mesh.
Mesh.
What's mesh like?
Okay. Mesh is like a fabric. It's like a net also, but in form of fabric, and is light. It also have some holes. Once you expose on it, there are some chemicals that you need to mix together to coat the whole face of that mesh before exposing.
So how long does it take to dry off before the person can use all of that?
Once you are done with it, it's going to dry immediately. Once you are done with the work, as you are printing the first one, is drying immediately, then move to the second stage.
But what does it feel like? People prefer the machine one to this handmade, and I think this handmade is more beautiful. There's just this element of originality for this handmade.
Yes.
And it's not something that's
You
can get with the machine made, yes. But what does it feel like? People do not like things like this.
You know, in Nigeria nowadays, we appreciate something that we can get easily, such as the price of that fabric. If it's easy to get, you go for that.
So this is not easy to get?
It's easy to get, but you know, we don't cherish what we have here. We don't appreciate it until we see it on someone and value it and appreciate it also. That's when we now go for it.
I'm thinking this whole process feels very easy and very quick with the way you explain it. I want to know how is the practice like? Do you teach young people? Do you have people you walk around? Is this thing taught in school? Because I know the traditional form of tie and dye where they have to do this, but this printing on the mesh is one I've not been really too familiar with.
Although I've been printing before gaining admission to school.
Okay.
So I learned this from my lecturers. Like, one of my lecturers is called Uncle Dave. He's the one that teach me how to expose and how to print. And there's another lecturer called Dr. Adeyemo. We call him Master. He's also one of the person that guide me on how to get all this. And he's very good. The two of them are very good at this.
You've been in this business for 10 years or 14 years,
14
just like
years.
you rightly said. Would you say it's a lucrative one in Nigeria? I mean, people are watching right now, and when you talk about art, art is so beautiful that you can't take the business out of it, which is also part of why we're discussing this today on the program.
As you can see, this fabric is something you can do within, you can do like 5 yards of this within 5 seconds if you are good. 5 seconds
and you can get this?
Yes. The reason I say so is if you have your materials ready and you have exposed it, you can start printing and remove that, then put another one on the bed and start printing again. So before 6 p.m., you are done with like 20, 30 yards.
Well, again, as much as it's easy for you who've been doing this for almost 14 years, how long do you think one can learn this to be able to produce this for themselves? Because if you ask me now, I would love to do something like this, especially the fact that I can sell it, I can wear it. It's beautiful.
Yes.
And it shows originality. When you tell someone that I made this, there's just this sense of belonging you have when you do something like that. So how long can one spend to learn something like this? The colors, I know it's not an easy thing to mix, especially.
No, it's easy to mix. We don't even need to mix it. We have different colors on ground. Your own is just to go there and get it. So once you get the colors...
I refuse to believe it's as easy as you're saying it. I mean...
Yes, it's because I've been teaching different students.
Yes.
So I know what it takes to teach. So it's something I can teach and they will get it. But the first step is this, because they need their hand to be straight. So once they achieve this and their hand is okay, then they can now move to the printing aspects. The printing aspect is easy than this.
So how long does one need to master this? Thank you so much. We have a caller. Destiny, thank you for joining us.
Okay.
Yes, we can hear you. Please speak louder. Destiny, please go ahead. We can hear you.
I want to ask a question.
Yes, please.
How the man normally has use machine to do this thing? How does he print it down?
Okay, how does he make this?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you so much, Destiny, for calling.
Okay.
Okay. I love that question, and I've explained it before, but I'll still do that because I'm also a teacher, so I need to do that because anytime I'm with my students, they will ask questions, and questions. So I love that. Destiny is very easy because I said you need to start with the paperwork first. But the first paperwork you are going to do is to sketch. Once you get your sketch, then you now move to the color off. Once you get the color off, that's to separate the colors the way you want it to be on that fabric. Then you now move to the next one, which is your final work on the paper. So once you get the final work on this paper, because you can exhibit this alone and sell aside from the fabric, you can sell this after exhibiting.
Okay.
You can still sell it. Then 2, you now move to the fabric and expose, then print. Thank you.
So to get this, how long does it take to make a sketch?
Okay.
Okay. Where is that man location?
Look, man, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay.
Yes.
Where is that man location in Ogun or your state? We like where I like their house.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm from Lagos.
From Lagos.
I base in Lagos, but I'm from Ogun State also. But I base in Lagos.
Okay, maybe you could just call your telephone number, and if he needs to call you, he could reach you through that.
080 20 37 61 39. And that's my WhatsApp number also.
Take it again.
080 20 37 61 39.
All right, so you were talking about making this and how long it takes.
Like this work now, let me use the paperwork to explain. If you want to produce this, it won't take much, but you need to take your time on it. You can spend a day doing this, a day. But if you are fast and your hand is straight, you can finish it on time. But if you are not that strong, that means you will use a day on this.
So when, for instance, you finish with this, probably it takes you a day to make this design. Something like this will be the outcome, the final product, after doing your printing.
Yes.
Aside the mesh form of printing, is there another form of printing on fabrics?
Yes, that's why I say the meshing. And you can also use stenciling. That's stencil method. You can cut it out and start dabbing, but that one will not look more okay than this. It may even look somehow rough, not neat like this. So that's why we don't use that.
I really think these should be encouraged for young people, you know, especially the fact that it doesn't take much time to learn, and it's so easy and quick to start seeing the final results from young people. And I know you have this history with teaching young people about this. I want you to take us through it. What's their attitude towards learning something like this?
Well, just like I said, I love teaching. And if you look at students, some of them are ready to learn, while some are not. The reason I say some are not is because you need to move closer to them, let them enjoy it, let them appreciate it. That's when they will bring out the beauty of it. And they will love to create anything they see. Students are somehow funny. Funny in the sense that if you have time, if you can create time for them, one-on-one, and start putting them through, you will see that they are going to bring out something unique.
So you visit students from what age, you know? Very important. Let's know if it has to do with their thinking capacity to be able to push this through for them.
Although I work with primary 4, 5, then GS 1 to 3.
As young as that?
Yes.
And they are learning?
Yes.
They learn. Oh, that's beautiful.
And I don't take them only textile, from painting, drawing, most especially using anything they can see around them to create their own works.
I believe this program is good for, it's for everybody, parents, teachers, guardians, the society, just to see the advantages there are to art.
Yes.
And you've taken us through the this design, which comes out in this final product where people get to wear the apparels. But we also have some of your works here. We have this one looking very beautiful, which is also a product of tie and dye. And you had to, so take us through it.
Okay. Just like I said, the first one is you need to get your fabric, tie-dye it. So once you are done with the tie and dye work.
Is it compulsory to tie-dye?
No, that's my own style. Sometimes I may not even do that. I'll just do it straight on the fabric. But
thank you so much for calling us.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mrs. Miriam.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, this is Femi from Kobakwe. I would like to ask the textile designer some questions.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, please, I would like to know what is the of the Chinese Adire materials that they have been importing now, and also the Okirika, so-called cloth, which is being imported. What is the effect of all this on the product of textile designers in Nigeria? And what can the artists do or the government do in order to make the textile designer break even with it? I hope my question is clear.
Very, very clear. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. I love the question you asked me because I have some experience based on that. I could remember when I wanted to do my IT back then. I searched for different textile companies in Nigeria, in Lagos. Let me use Lagos, for example. I was unable to get one like this because all what they are just telling me, they are not working again. The only one I could get then was in Ikorodu. So that's the only one. And I said, no, I can't work there. But for your question now, the challenges we are facing, I can even use myself as an example. The challenges there is that the one they are importing is really affecting because it has make the materials that we use to go up a lot in terms of price. So it affects us a lot, and people are not buying some materials again. They will tell you, you are calling this for 5,000, why they are getting that one for 1.5? And they don't know there's difference between the two. So if you explain to them, they will just tell you, leave me alone, let me just get what I want to get. I need to be put on this. And because it's like a China cloth and it's shiny, like sunshine, something like that. So that's why people are going for it. But there's difference between China clothes, and also there's difference between China and the original fabric, because we have 100% cotton fabric that we use. You can't compare it with the China one. So that is what I would say about that.
All right, thank you so much. I mean, we have so many things to talk about, but really time is not by our side, and we just have to leave the studio now. Now, there are a lot of people watching, your fellow artists, the society at large, and you've been here to tell or talk about this design, this work of yours. Just one thing you want them to, have in mind when it comes to our design as Africans.
Yes. One thing I want them to have in mind is, let's go for our own real fabric materials. We have a lot of materials there that we can use to create our own design. And most of my own work is even different because I normally convert some to backrest, table covers, and other things that people can just get on time. And also some are like framework that they can use to beautify their homes, not only to put it on. Thank you.
Thank you so much. You heard it from the artist himself. We have to encourage the use of our own product, because if you don't, no one else will. This is World of Art, where we bring you experts in the world of art and the art industry, and we take you through the advantages, the importance there is to art in our everyday lives. Fortunately for you, you cannot talk about life without bringing art into the equation. This program is brought to you by Prince Engineer Yemisi Shilon, legal practitioner, Africa's largest private art collector, grand donor and chairman of Kansi Yemisi Shilon Museum of Art. My name is Miriam Usman. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.